Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name's John Dubox with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so discussing an incredible opportunity you have in marketing one of the premier Medicare supplements in the market and utilizing systems that they have available for us, their agent force, to not only market the base medical coverage through a Medicare supplement, but deal with some of the cross-selling options that give them the opportunity to pick up additional programs to cover shortfalls wherever they happen to be in their protection package. Not necessarily just in health insurance. We'll talk about that specifically today with dental and some of the other things. It's just a grand opportunity to make certain in our new normal we're utilizing all the electronic tools and support we have to cross-sell. Today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with much of the information that we'll reference through the course of the presentation, will be sent to everyone who has expressed interest in today's webinar, and we will be doing some follow-up as well. That recording will also be posted on our website at premiersmi.com and on our YouTube channel. As a bit of housekeeping, you'll notice the software system has a section for both questions and for chat. We ask that you use the questions section, and while we cover most of the questions through the course of the presentation, at different times we will stop and address questions as we go along as well. So watch for that if you would. As a bit of a starting point, a level set as to who Premier Marketing is. Many of you are very familiar with us, but some not so much. We're a national marketing organization founded in 1968. That's part of the Integrity Marketing Platform with offices across the country. We offer insurance services through an independent agent such as yourself, and do so at contracts that are at the highest possible commission levels with recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. We do so through that full portfolio of products. So we speak to the Medicare programs such as Medicare Advantage, Med Supp, and standalone Part D plans, but also a portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, final expense life insurance and pre-need plans, long and short-term care programs, along with disability income opportunities, and ancillary benefits that cover the dental, vision, hearing needs, those that address critical illness and cancer plans, hospital indemnity, accident, and we actually even rolled out a telehealth program last month as well. When we look at the Medicare market, you come on a presentation like today, everyone speaks to the aging of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami, 10,000 plus people a day, one every 10 seconds. Well, if we're looking at this just based on age, we're a little off because some folks are deferring their Medicare supplement benefits for one reason or another until later in life. So it pulls that number down a little bit, but that's more taken care of by the folks that are accessing Medicare because of disability under the age of 65, a viable product push for many of us as a prospect pool. Some of the different things that come into play when you're offering Medicare supplements, we want to make certain we do the proper thing for those folks under 65 as well, because they all have to meet their own needs, and they have some needs that go across the board. 2/3 of the population on Medicare have 3+ chronic conditions, and they generally have some challenges with their wallet as well, their billfold, their purse, whatever you want to call it. And so we want to make certain that in each choice that is possible for them to make, we have the programs to address their needs, be it, hey, I'm going to self-insure for the medical portion, just pick up a drug plan. I'm going to go to the standardized, modernized Med Supp as an option, or into MA. Programs we discuss today are most applicable in one category, but do follow over into the others as well. So we're going to make certain whatever choice they make when they're first eligible, or if they've been on Medicare for a period of time, we're able to help them cover their needs to the best of their and our own ability. And we can do so by helping translate some of the acronyms that are out there. One of the things you'll see in the follow-up is a link to the guide that helps explain some of the MIC, KEY, MOUSE acronyms that are out there. And we'll make certain that that helps you as part of your sales presentation. And while Medicare supplements and ancillary products aren't subject to the election periods per se, as there are in the MA or PDP world, they do have different requirements they have to abide by. But if we're aware of the election periods that are out there, the special election periods that are out there, and there are a number of them, including those that are influenced by the weather. And we have an updated sheet we'll get to you as part of this as well. That gives us an opportunity to look at their package regardless. And because they can also go back to traditional Medicare and pick up a PDP program, we need to make certain that we're prepared for that discussion, because face it, over half of them don't do it annually. Kaiser Family Foundation tells us 57% don't review their options annually. And even those in the greatest need aren't doing that. And those that have access to the information may not understand it or utilize what the government puts out there. So our reaching out on a year-round basis is paramount, not only to our success, but also to make certain that the people that we're talking to, that we're discussing things with, realize we can be that source of information to them through whatever is supplied by the government or through our own systems. And a topic like today, when we're adding on to a benefit package, the more product you have in the house, the better your persistency, the better your retention. So programs like today are especially important for us to make use of. We need that detail because government helps us, but they may not understand the difference between the different plan choices, how their coverage may be affected. If they came on Medicare after the 1st of January of last year and are subject to some of the Macra legislation, we want to make certain that we can help them either in person or virtually, because they're being trained to be helped one way or the other. The beneficiaries out there, heck, for the last year, I have an appointment with one of my doctors 9 times, never met the man, 9 appointments, all virtually. And it's not just the medical delivery of the program's benefits that we speak to, it's also being influenced by other centers of influence in the community. A whole bunch of people have attended their faith-based meetings, so to speak, church services virtually, and some continue to do that as well. But it goes beyond the doctors. Hospitals are doing it, dentists are doing it, the whole world is, and we'll never completely go back to the way things are done in the past. So having those tools to help us reach those people, however they're going to receive the information, is very important to us, and we want to make certain that we work with folks that help us do so, be it with the carriers or marketing organizations like ourselves. So what we have today is a discussion on how the wild kingdoms, even though that's probably, Kristi's going to tell me, John, I don't think they do that anymore. Hey, I'm old enough. I see that all the time. We still have Mutual of Omaha's folks that do a great job in supplying the base medical through the standardized, modernized Medicare Supplements, but also give us other products to help us cross-sell. So what we have today is our guest speaker, Ms. Kristi Meyers. She's a sales director with Mutual of Omaha, and she's going to walk us through some different things that help us understand their products, but also their systems and the marketing wherewithal and thought process that helps make this successful for all of us. So Kristi, if you would, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'll pull up the other presentation and we will be ready to go on that. But if you would, speak to us about yourself a little bit and tell us what's going on in your world.
All right. Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. As John mentioned, my name is Kristi Meyers, and I am a sales director with Mutual of Omaha. I've been with Mutual of Omaha now for 26 years. The majority of my time has been spent specifically working on our Medicare Supplement product line. And then in the recent years, as we've added in dental and standalone PDP, I also have responsibilities to help grow sales and train agents like yourselves here on the line today. So looking forward to our discussion. And John, we do still mention the Wild Kingdom. And actually, we have a new advertising tagline that we've been rolling out, and it is Protect Your Kingdom. So with our new logo that was released late last year in 2020 to the lion head, we are really embracing that whole concept of protecting your individual kingdom. And today we'll talk about how agents can help do that in the space for Medicare Supplement Plan N, and then we'll close out our discussion with a conversation on dental insurance for that holistic approach to helping seniors with their needs. So that's a little bit
awesome.
about me. Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And I'm very curious to see some of the response to our discussion on N versus G, which this will go into as well. And I'm happy we're recording this so folks that may have to leave early or we can follow up with for them can really help. So tell us a little bit about why Plan N as an overview and how it's different than G.
Yeah, for sure. So we know for many years, Plan F was the most popular MedSup plan sold. Like it offered consumers that comprehensive coverage, all just for their monthly premium. And then in 2010, when Medicare Modernization Act came out, Plan G began to gain momentum in the market space as agents and consumers both soon realized that the Part B annual deductible that the insured would be responsible for with Plan G, which once they satisfied that, their coverage would look and act just like Plan F. So their monthly premium was at a significantly lower cost than it would be for that Plan F, as long as they were comfortable paying for that Part B deductible. So in that short amount of time, Plan G quickly became the most popular new business plan sold in the market. So now let's jump forward to January of 2020, and then we enacted the Macra legislation. So due to those new laws surrounding the guaranteed issue plan availability for Medicare beneficiaries and consumers continually looking to pay a lower premium for their health care, potentially in exchange for some out-of-pocket expenses that they would be associated to pay, we are seeing a market shift once again from Plan G to Plan N. And you're probably wondering, so how does Plan N differ from Plan G? Well, they both cover all Medicare approved expenses except for the Part B deductible. And then the additional cost sharing part for Plan N comes in the form of potential co-payments. And policyholders on Plan N pay that copay for some office and emergency room visits, and they also pay for Part B excess charges. And we'll talk more on that here in a bit. All right, so we can see just on this chart, how do Plan G and Plan N then compare? So once again, we can see that both Plan G and Plan N both require the insured to pay the annual Part B deductible. Where the Plan N is going to be different is that they have that potential of a copayment of up to $20 per an office visit, up to $50 copay for emergency room visits that do not result in an inpatient admission, and Part B excess charges. And we'll talk through each of these components here as we go through these next set of slides.
May I throw this out there at this time, Kristi? It's interesting to note that a lot of the benefits on the Plan G mirror a lot of what they may have had as part of group coverage looking forward, and studies have shown that excess charges aren't a common occurrence. But I think with part of this, the Plan N may actually be easier for them to comprehend in comparison to what they already have, but just a better deal.
I completely agree with that. And we actually have a slide on that here coming up in a bit. So let's take a look at these co-payment examples. I want to get all the agents here on the line comfortable with how do the co-payments actually work with Plan N, and how do they really get applied toward that co-insurance amount. So in this first example, example number 1, this is for a Plan N customer who has an office visit with a physician who accepts Medicare. That Plan N customer has already satisfied their Part B deductible for the calendar year. So for this visit, the doctor's office is going to submit a bill to Medicare for $200. And then of that amount billed, Medicare approves $150. The Part B coinsurance is 20% of the Medicare approved amount, or $30. So what this is going to mean then is the Plan N would apply $20 of the $30 in coinsurance to the $20 copayment, and the Plan N would pay the remaining $10. So in this example, the customer owes that doctor's office the full $20 copayment. Now, if we look at example number 2, is going to be the same person, and they have another office visit with their physician. This time, the doctor's office submits a bill for Medicare for $200. Of that amount billed, in this example, Medicare approves $75. Once again, the Part B coinsurance is 20% of the Medicare approved amount, or $15. So this is going to mean in this example, the Plan N would apply $15 coinsurance amount, and the Plan N would not pay a benefit as the copay did not exceed $20. So this means that the Plan N customer would owe $15 to the doctor's office. So you can see, based on what is billed to and approved by Medicare, it's really going to influence if the Plan N customer is subject to the maximum copayment of $20 or a lesser amount. And I should also point out that it's only the charge specific to the office visit that is applicable for the copay. So if an insured actually had some x-rays done or other services in the doctor's office, the Plan N would pay for all of that coinsurance expense in full. So just really know that there are many times when a copay is not even going to be applicable. And then just a reminder, of course, that Plan N does cover for the Part A deductible and coinsurance in full. So with some cost sharing involved in competitive pricing on these Plan N, you can really see why more and more consumers are starting to choose Plan N to supplement their original Medicare benefits. And then, so the question of, does the insured pay a $20 copayment upfront at the doctor's office? So really paying upfront at the doctor's office or healthcare provider, the insured should be able to pay the $20 at the time of office visit, but most likely that provider is not going to ask them to pay upfront because the physician's office does not know in advance what services are going to be done and what amount Medicare is actually going to approve. So they would not know the coinsurance that's going to be applicable. So if we went back to that example number 2, if the insured went in and paid $20 up front and then really they only owed $15, well, now the doctor's office would owe them a refund of $5. So it could happen that they have to pay up front, but really we've looked within our claims area and we really do feel that the majority of times the provider would most likely wait till Medicare pays their portion, wait for the Plan N to pay what they're going to pay, and then bill for that copayment amount for the visit.
And I think where this may have a little back and forth, Kristi, of who owes what and to whom, a lot of it, if folks are accustomed to going to a pharmacy and they have a copayment, let's say for a generic medication that is priced higher than what the drug actually costs, they only collect the lower amount. So it's almost like a max out of pocket payment in a manner of speaking with the copay. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm like, it's only going to be a max of 20, and then it can only be less than that or potentially 0, really depending on what happens at that doctor's office visit. So,
okay, awesome. Tell us about the ER visit.
So the ER visits also apply on a Plan N, and for the ER copayment of $50, it does apply for each emergency room visit that does not result in an inpatient admission. So that's a flat $50 for each one.
And here's the slide printed earlier with excess charges.
Yeah, this is where the meat of the Plan N, really where you need to have an understanding of what is an excess charge and what does Medicare assignment mean and why it's going to be so important to understand these two elements when selling a Plan N. So an excess charge is the amount that a doctor or a healthcare provider is legally permitted to charge above the Medicare approved amount. And then Medicare assignment means that a doctor, provider, or healthcare supplier accepts the Medicare approved amount as full payment for covered services. So that means they're not going to charge excess charges. And doctors and providers that accept Medicare assignment are participating providers. Those that do not accept Medicare assignment are non-participating providers.
What would you say is the most common claim to not include excess charges?
Oh, that, John, you have stumped me. I don't know that I know that, but I do have some information on our claims history, and I want to talk
Okay.
about through that here on these next few slides. So
Okay. I jumped the gun again.
so why do most MedSup claims not include excess charges? So although Plan N doesn't have a benefit for excess charges, really, in reality, most MedSup claims do not include excess charges. And here's a few reasons why. First, the majority of healthcare providers in the United States do accept Medicare assignment. So meaning they have agreed to accept that Medicare approved amount as payment in full, and they are not going to pass on excess charges to their patients. I mean, a recent study from Kaiser Family Foundation found that 93% of primary care physicians in the United States accept Medicare. And then in addition to the fact that the majority of healthcare providers do accept Medicare, there are some states that have actually passed laws that do not allow for healthcare providers to pass on excess charges. And those are listed here on screen. And if we go to the next one, a few additional comments regarding excess charges and Medicare assignment. So in reviewing our Mutual Omaha Plan G claims data, which if you recall, Plan G does provide a benefit for excess charges. Claims with an excess charge included make up less than 0.3% of all Part B claims paid. And to put that into perspective for you, in any given year, we roughly pay on more than 55 million MedSup Part B claims. And then I also want to share that of that 0.3% of Part B claims that come in with an excess charge, over 90% of those claims are for an amount under $30. So that is really pointing out how rare and uncommon excess charges are. It doesn't mean that they don't happen. It's just in looking at our claims data, we have found that they do tend to be somewhat rare. Now, if we go to the next slide, we will see what happens if a Medicare beneficiary does receive care from a non-participating provider. What can they expect? So non-participating providers can, it doesn't mean that they will, they can charge more than the Medicare approved amount, but there's a limit called the limiting charge. This means that the non-participating provider can only charge beneficiaries up to 15% over the amount that non-participating providers are paid. Non-participating providers are paid 95% of the fee schedule amount. So the limiting charge only applies to certain Medicare covered services and doesn't apply to some supplies and durable medical equipment or DME. So of all points here, meaning who could maybe expect excess charges, it's really most common with charges for DME. So if DME is needed, durable medical equipment, it is crucial that beneficiaries do confirm upfront that that DME provider is accepting Medicare, as some of the DME excess charges can actually be quite hefty. So
And the most common DME is like wheelchairs, oxygen equipment, things of that nature, correct?
Walkers, correct.
Okay. And it's interesting, in my 35 years plus of working in the Medicare market, I got more questions on this portion of it with people who didn't have any coverage at all because they were aware of some of the things that they were financially obligated to pay or became aware after our discussion. And it's interesting to see just how few excess charges actually come into play. So we'll kick out that Kaiser Family Foundation article that you reference as well. Folks obviously have the link to it. And as a repetition for a question that popped in, this is recorded and you will receive this information. And we'll also provide a link to Medicare 101 presentations that help reinforce some of this message. So watch for part of that as the part of the follow-up. So how can agents help clients that are considering the different plan choices, including Plan N?
All right, so with respect to Plan N, there's really two key things. So make sure the insured is going to understand that they are responsible for that Part B deductible, and then discuss that potential for office visit and emergency room co-payments. And then really the most important thing is going to be that they ask up front that if their healthcare provider or DME provider accepts Medicare. Because if they do, most likely they're not going to have any out-of-pocket costs for Part B excess charges. And if we go to the next slide, John, these would be perfect websites to also share out to those on the line today. And there are 2 different links in which people can confirm whether or not their healthcare provider or DME supplier is actually accepting Medicare assignment. And the first one is for healthcare providers, which if you go to medicare.gov/physician compare, you will be asked, the beneficiary would input their zip code, and then a list of healthcare providers near them will show, and any of them that have a green check mark by their name as that provider means that they do accept Medicare. And it's in green, and it has the exact words that say charges the Medicare approved amount, so you pay less out of pocket. And then to ensure that a DME supplier is actually accepting of Medicare, you can visit medicare.gov/medical-equipment-suppliers. Same thing, enter in the zip code in which you're looking to see who would be nearby. And those that accept Medicare will indicate that right below their name for that provider, and it will say charges the Medicare approved amount, accepts assignment. So using those 2 will definitely help limit potential excess charges by going to people who actually accept Medicare assignment.
Awesome. Great third-party influencer and a true source of truth. So who might be part of the Plan N target market?
So we talked a little bit about this early on, and John, you mentioned Plan N really kind of looks like, for those of us that are getting coverage through an employer, Plan N really kind of mimics how it works in the employer market space. I'm like, you have some type of an annual deductible, and a lot of us maybe have a copayment that we pay when we actually go to see a healthcare provider. So perfect match up with Plan N from that perspective. Another great fit might be for those individuals who are on a Medicare Advantage plan and maybe find that that plan really is not meeting their needs. MA plans have some cost sharing involved, so Plan N might be a natural fit for those individuals who want to go back to original Medicare. And then how about those individuals who just like to have that peace of mind of having a Medicare supplement plan that is going to be accepted by most healthcare providers? It will travel with them and is available at an affordable price with some cost sharing involved. I mean, that's going to be just about everybody.
Awesome. And that gives them the opportunity to mimic some of the coverages they may have had either at work or through an MA plan, but without the network restriction that you see with many of the MA programs, Medicare Advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Or even think of snowbirds. It gives them that option to really travel and have the benefit of having a Medicare supplement, which grants them the right to see any healthcare provider that accepts Medicare. So,
Awesome.
all right.
Price
So,
comparisons.
yeah, let's look at some pricing here. So on screen, I'm showing just 2 areas, Arizona and Texas. Texas is for John. Arizona is because we just launched new rates in Arizona. So the cells in orange are going to be the pricing for Mutual of Omaha, either Plan N or Plan G. And all of these are for someone who's age 67. And you'll see the female rate and the male rate. And they all have that household discount applied. And what I've done is shown our current rate as of yesterday, and then the average of the top competitors in these market spaces. And at the end of the day, you can see the price difference between a Plan N and a Plan G. It's about, with our plans, it's about $24 less expensive per month to go with a Plan N than Plan G. And then really when you compare our rates in both of these markets right now compared to the average of the top competitors in this space, our rates are less expensive than any of those competitor averages in all cells noted here. So take a look. These types of variances are true probably across the majority of the country. So that plan N, you're going to really see a savings, I would say somewhere between $20 to $30 less expensive per month than our current plan G rates.
That's awesome. It gives them additional income to perhaps do something different with those dollars too. Part of our discussion.
Yes, exactly.
So let's talk about rate adjustments.
Yeah, so like you've maybe heard in the market space, the increases on Plan N are less than they are historically on Plan G, and that is true. So for the last several years, our average rate increases on Plan N have been in line with medical trend. So increases on Plan N have really averaged out to be about 4 to 6% nationally. On Plan G, our increases have averaged about 7% plus. And then let's not forget about the guaranteed issue plans that changed for beneficiaries new to Medicare on or after January 1st, 2020 due to Macra. So as a result of Macra, Plan C and F are no longer the guaranteed issue plans for newly eligible Medicare beneficiaries. So the guaranteed issue plans for these individuals are going to be plans D as in dog, G as in George, and high deductible G. So note that Plan N is not available for guaranteed issue at this time. And let's not confuse guaranteed issue rights with open enrollment rights. So individuals in their open enrollment have the right to purchase any plan available in their state, including Plan N. But because Plan N is not a guaranteed issue plan right now, that should help for future rate increases remain historically lower than other MedSup plans.
Awesome. So marketing support.
So we do have an agent flyer that John can send out to all the attendees on the call here today. It really is a nice overview of what we've kind of talked about here in PowerPoint form. It reviews the differences between Plan N and Plan G. It'll walk through those two examples that I walked through everyone here on the call today to really show how does a $20 copayment look or a $15 copayment. And then the back side of it is going to talk about the Medicare assignment and excess charges. And the website is to where to see if somebody actually accepts Medicare is also in here. It's on the back under that what you can do section. So this is available and updated for Plan 2021.
Awesome. This is a nice piece as a leave behind, either physically or electronically, depending upon the type of presentation, because we all know that folks understand certain things when you talk to them. If they don't have a claim for a period of time, this is a nice reminder piece as to what they might be subject to. So a great leave behind piece, in my opinion.
Actually, I'm going to caveat that piece is an agent use only piece, but we do have consumer facing brochures available that you can order for your individual state. That would also walk through Plan N. Yep.
Awesome. So let's talk, whoops, I went backwards. Let's talk about commissions on Plan N.
Yeah, so I had to do a memory test for myself because I forgot actually when we actually did it. It's been so long now, but back in 2019, we did increase commissions on Plan N to offset the commission differential between Plan N and Plan G. So if you have questions on what your Plan N commissions might be, please reach out to your upline, and if that's Premier, please reach out to them.
Awesome. And I think it's a great way for Mutual of Omaha to support doing the right thing and not really greatly adversely affecting the income of an agent doing the right thing. Commendable. Thank you.
Exactly.
Let's talk about dental.
Yeah, so let's kind of shift gears, and now because you're going to be selling them that Plan N and they're saving $20 to $30 a month compared to a Plan G potentially, now they have some maybe extra dollars in which you would have the ability to cross-sell them some additional products, one of which being dental insurance. So we know that Medicare doesn't cover for most dental services, even including preventive care. So that means that dental bills really do have the potential to take a bite out of their savings. And it's really one of the most popular ancillary products available for Medicare eligible clients. Moving forward, if we look, so we launched our individual dental plans in the fall of 2017. And prior to doing so, we did conduct some market research to see what was it that Medicare beneficiaries were really looking for with respect to dental insurance. And here on screen is a few of the important points that the research pointed out. So maintaining good oral health is important to me. Dental insurance should cover preventive care with little to no cost to me. I want the confidence of knowing high unexpected dental bills can be limited. Dental insurance should include a large network of medical professionals and facilities. And then lastly, I would like to have my Medicare supplement and dental insurance all in one place. So let's look at a few plan specifics. So our individual dental product is available for issue ages 19 to 99. Now that market research that was done was really more geared to the Medicare space, but just note that it is available for individuals 19 to 99. It is guaranteed issue, and then it's going to be unisex community rated. And we have 2 plans available, and those are both noted here on screen. So the preferred plan, which is shaded in that light blue, and then we have the protection plan. And if we take a look at the preferred plan, you can notice that preventive care is covered at 100% with no waiting period. And on the protection plan, preventive is also covered at 100% after meeting a small deductible of $100 for all services combined. And then if you recall, based on that market research, preventive care at little or no cost was really important to consumers, which is why we designed these plans this way. And then both plans cover basic services, and then major services are covered with both plans after a 12-month waiting period is satisfied. And then one additional feature I do want to point out for both of these plans, which is near the bottom of the screen, is that both of these plans do have a lifetime maximum benefit for implants. And that's going to be something that you don't see a lot of with some of the other carriers.
So,
All right.
some basics about dental. What? Crazy
Yeah,
there.
some dental trivia for you. So when we go back to that market research and consumers indicated they wanted their dental insurance to cover preventive care at little or no cost to them, that really makes sense considering about almost 70% of all covered claims for dental are for preventive. And then participants also said that they wanted the confidence of knowing that high unexpected dental bills can be limited. And that makes sense as well because claims for basic services, which is going to include things such as a filling or a simple extraction, those account for about 15% of all covered claims.
So tell us about the network.
Yeah, so the network, also part of that research. Both of our dental plans are going to be powered by the Dental Max Plus network, which includes participating dentists in the Denta Max, the United Concordia Dental, and the Connection Dental networks. The network in total consists of about 390,000 in-network dental provider locations, which, if you recall, going back to that research, having a large network was really important to these beneficiaries. And then just to really point out how the dental networks provide that additional savings is the benefit of a dental plan with a network is going to mean that the in-network dentists have agreed to offer services at a discounted negotiated rate, which is going to mean lower out-of-pocket costs for an insured. In fact, depending on the state, the negotiated savings by using an in-network dentist provider can range from 25 to 55%.
And so that's less out of pocket before the benefit is even applied.
Exactly.
Awesome. Where's it available?
All right, so here's the most current version of our dental approval map. And this map is showing you where we have the preferred and the protection plans available, which at this point in time is going to be in all states except for New York. And then the other item the map is showing you is the number of in-network dental provider locations available within a given state. And that's going to be the number below the state name. So I'm currently in Omaha, Nebraska. So Nebraska has a total of 1,373 in-network dental provider locations. And John is down in Texas, where they have over almost 53,000 in-network dental provider locations. And then in a moment, I'll talk to you why the shading for Washington, Colorado, and New Mexico is in a lighter blue. So more on that in just a moment here.
How do you find them?
How do we find them? So the first question someone's going to ask you as an agent is going to be, well, I've been seeing my dentist for X amount of years. Are they in network? So to quickly see if a dentist is participating within the network for DentalMax Plus, all you need to do is go to the following website, which is going to be dentistforme.com. And then it's important that you do the / Mutual of Omaha. And once you go there, you enter in their zip code and how far away they want to drive to, and then it will pull up the dentist within that area. Or there's also the ability to search by dentist name.
Awesome. So how does somebody enroll a person in a dental program?
Okay, so I only put 2 on here. There's actually 3. The easiest way to really enroll somebody into dental is to do the dental application right after completing the Medicare Supplement application. And I'll talk more on that here in just a minute. The other option would be to do a standalone dental e-app. A standalone dental e-app is probably going to take an agent 5 minutes to complete. I mean, it has like 3 questions on it. It's very simple. Same as the one that you would do seamlessly after the MedSup app. That one, because it carries over the information from the MedSup app, that one, doing it that way would probably take you 3 minutes. Now, I mentioned there's 3 ways. The other way is actually paper. But in my mind, for a guaranteed issue product that really only takes a few minutes to complete online, I'm really going to keep promoting this dental e-app as opposed to paper.
Yeah, paper can be a challenge. I'm going to throw a 4th one in there that'll direct to these systems too. Our Medicare Center program that we offer to our agents also gives you an opportunity to utilize this system through a comparison piece, an add-on piece that's very helpful. That'll take you right into Mutual of Omaha's e-app system, part of the whole let's do things electronically mindset. So let's talk about how these plans can help each other in their sale by discount.
Yeah, so this is not going to be a discussion of whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza or not, but some people would say it is definitely better together, as is peanut butter and jelly. So in late 2020, we announced that we now have a 15% multi-product discount available when an agent sells the MedSup and dental together. Now, the 15% discount applies on the dental policy, and it's going to be automatically applied when the dental application is signed between the Medicare Supplement application sign date and within 30 days after the MedSup policy issue date. So when I mentioned doing the dental e-app seamlessly right after the Medicare Supplement e-app, this is really why. You will see the dental product present itself when you finish the Medicare Supplement application. It will calculate the premiums for both of the dental plans with the 15% discount applied, so you don't even need to do the math. And then you will just do that e-app seamlessly from the MedSup one, and that way you're ensuring that they're going to receive the discount because it was signed on the same day. So really some significant savings here. If we go to the next slide, there's a couple of examples of what do these premium rates look like. Once again, I'm using those examples of Arizona and Texas, and I'm showing what the rates look like on both plans, either the preferred or the protection. And the top row is going to be with that multi-product discount applied. The bottom one is going to be without it. So Down in Texas, zip code 754 to 759. I'm not exactly sure where that's at. But when you look at the protection plan with that 15% discount applied, $19.10 a month for comprehensive dental coverage, I would say is pretty inexpensive. And as John mentioned earlier, it's going to mean you have multiple policies in the household. They're going to be more sticky, and you earn more commission by selling two products to that individual.
That's awesome. Let's talk about the programs for the agents. Now,
All
bonus
right.
program.
Yeah, bonus program. Who doesn't like bonus programs? So this bonus program is going to be for Medicare Supplement, and it is available for Plan N, like we discussed here today, as well as the other plans, so F and G. But the way the program works is in the states that are listed on the flyer, any month in which you have at least 5 or more issued apps for Medicare Supplement, we pay at a rate of $150 for fully underwritten and $30 for open enrollment. And John can definitely get you a copy of this flyer. The other program that we have, which has been going on for many, many years at this point in time, is our MedSup and Dental Marketing Credits program. So on the MedSup side, same criteria. You need to have at least 5 or more issued MedSup apps in a month. And then if you hit that threshold, what happens is of the annualized new business premium that is issued for those 5 apps in that month, you earn credits at the rate of 1%. And now credits can then be redeemed for cash. And really what you're redeeming for is to help with your marketing activities to help grow your business with Mutual of Omaha. So that said in a nutshell, really if you had spent money for leads, a mail drop, postage, some type of marketing activity, we would reimburse you up to the full amount of the credits that you have in your bank. Now the program runs all year, and it will close out on September 30th. So you've all been earning credits since October 1st of last year. And then you do have to redeem these credits that you earned during this qualification period by December 1st. New last year was a component for dental. So you also earn marketing credits when you issue 2 or more dental apps in a month. Same criteria, you earn 1% of the annualized new business premium. Those credits go in your bank, and then you can redeem those credits for cash later down the road.
It's why Mutual of Omaha is one of my favorite marketing support programs, because of that flexibility. And we're talking to everybody about working virtually. I really like the line that says website development, because it kind of really supports that virtual presence as well. Let's talk about the London Vibe.
Ooh, London Vibe. So I don't know about all of you guys, but I'm ready to get out and travel and see the world again. So I really hope to see some of you on the line here today on our agent incentive trip, which is going to be to London, England in the spring of 2022. And if we go to the next slide, you can see how you can qualify for that trip, which the criteria to qualify is that you need 275,000 production credits, and you can earn credits by selling both Medicare Supplement and the dental product. And if you want more details on the Mutual Sales Leaders trip, you can visit mutualsalesleaders.com.
Awesome. I'm going to check for questions here just here to make certain we've got everything covered, Kristi. A lot of them deal with what we've addressed already. So wait a minute. All of them have already been addressed. So we're good. We're golden in that respect. What
Sweet.
I'd like to do is basically, one, thank you for the presentation, but also give folks an idea as to, pardon me here, while I bounce out of this, go back to the other one and speak to why folks would want to actually do that through us. And I apologize because I put in some of the slides here so we have them all in the same piece. It's just that Kristi's presentation, when I slid it over, I didn't have all the lovely color. So that's why we used it there. Bear with me a moment, and we'll go through just a few slides as to why you want to work with Mutual of Omaha and do so through Premier Marketing. So as we speak to that, some of the things that come into play deal with contracting and different pieces of support. when you look to contract with multiple organizations, or if you want a repository for your agent information, our assurance-based software system allows you to create an agent profile, put your E&O, answer all the standard questions. You can pull in ancillary products or other products offered by carriers multiply and do so electronically. With Mutual of Omaha, we would do that directly with their electronic systems, but we want to make certain that you realize that's available to you. Mention the E&O, errors and admissions coverage. This is a policy you actually own, so it covers you for insurance products in a broad spectrum, including some variable products that are hard to find. But this protects you regardless of whom you contract through. Yeah, we want all your business, obviously. You want all your customers' business, likewise. But we realize we don't offer everything, even though our portfolio is very broad. We want to make certain that we protect you financially. So this is different than just being added for one program on a blanket policy, and then you go, what do I do with everything else? This is something you own, protects you across the board. And we do the same sort of thing through our relationship with WebCE for your continuing education programs, a discounted way of keeping your license in play if you're still subjected to some of the continuing education. I say still subjected to because some of us are old and we're grandfathered. You also have a way of protecting your own way of earning dollars through a modified guarantee issue DI program in which you're paid commission. So you're able to utilize this program to not only protect yourself, but also create another income stream. And much as where today's presentation is being recorded, past presentations have been as well. I'm going to reference a couple of these in the follow-up. We have a generic piece on dental that gives you a ton of statistics, some things overall, past presentations we've done with Mutual of Omaha that speaks to their full portfolio and everything else that comes into play with it. And so this is available to you on our website, premiersmi.com, and also on our YouTube channel. I mentioned our Medicare Center program. This is available to contracted agents without cost. With a single login, you have 3 different quoting tools that you access in addition to a CRM to help manage your clients and collect that scope of appointment, which even though you don't need a scope for ancillary products or Medicare supplements, if you're going just that route, using the scope protects you because inevitably they'll ask about drug coverage or reviewing some of the other things. And you can actually use that scope of appointment as a way of prefacing additional discussions. And we actually have a webinar coming up on talking about how you can use regulations to help you sell. And that includes within this system our CSG tool, which has a really cool cross-selling component, and it includes the dental programs as well. So it helps you price the different Mutual of Omaha dental coverages. If you're going in and someone says, well, I did my Med-Sup, I can't change it now. You've discussed dental. It's a great way to add on in that circumstance. And Kristi mentioned the different incentive programs Mutual of Omaha has. We want to make certain that you have those all in a singular place that you can look at and utilize them and discover the uniqueness of some of Mutual of Omaha's marketing support, the credits that Kristi mentioned, and how they may help you qualify for premier incentive programs as well. MA and PDP programs, max comp is set, so they don't normally apply to these. But last year, our cruise turned into a virtual getaway because of the constraints that were placed upon us, and a lot of agents earned a ton of cash as well. We also want to make certain that we can put you in front of folks to visit about the programs you offer. There are a ton of things that you can still smile and dial for. And with many programs out there, the rates changing from 64 to 65, you can use a dental program and the rates to help engage that T65 individual before they're crushed by the rush of other marketers. And you can cold call for that. Can't for MAPD or PDP, you can for Med-Sup, most Med-Sup programs, all but one, and dental and other ancillary programs. We also help you establish your relationship in your target market. There are folks that are going to go back to shaking hands and kissing babies and all the centers of influence in the community. We can show you how programs like Mutual of Omaha's portfolio can help you even in the retail marketing. That goes on very heavy during AEP, but continues year-round in many areas. but also as a point of comparison when you reach out to centers of influence such as faith-based organizations doing virtual or live presentations as that occurs as well. And then when you look at the portfolio of product, we have to look at the folks that are actually providing the benefits that we're insuring, and that includes the different providers. And one of the great places to go is to dentists, utilizing the Mutual of Omaha dental program as a way of helping them collect their accounts receivables, making that easier, a great way to work the community there too. Carrier-generated prospects, with Mutual of Omaha, you have that unique marketing credit program, but you'll see some MA or PDP carriers that will help you in that regard. Now it's a kind of a symbiotic relationship. You need to have a relationship with those folks to really get into some of that, but it's available to you. We also offer, however, internet lead programs and direct mail support, and we have a approach for increasing your referrals, and that will be linked to today's presentation as well. That mail program, you can qualify two different ways. You can go through the health products, or you can go through the final expense area, qualify for double the pleasure, double the fun. It deeply discounts that cost through vetted lead vendors, strong national providers that stand behind their services. We do so to help make certain that you stay compliant with the correspondence they send out. A great way of establishing relationships with those folks as well. And if you would prefer just to kind of ease into mail support, we have actually two different systems that will help you with returns that come off of mail, not touched before. Keep in mind, if you direct the system with your own mailing, you get the response same day. These have to work through the system, so they're not immediate, but a great bargain for you and a great way to augment your lead flow. Our internet program is Facebook generated, and we have a system for final expense and Medicare leads. It concentrates on the Medicare Supplement community, so a great way to reach out into those markets and offer the Mutual of Omaha portfolio and work through it. Referrals, boy, you can't overestimate the value of working your book of business. So if you have done quotes through the Medicare Center for PDP or MAPD programs, a great way to go back and visit that community with, specifically in this case, dental programs that can really help you and bring about an opportunity to not only drive up your persistency through that contact, but also through the offering of additional programs. And we do all this simply because we want your business as well. We realize that you have an opportunity to work with a number of different organizations, but we feel that this system that gives you a cross-selling opportunity through a named carrier can be very, very helpful to your own personal marketing plan, and engaging in that activity as soon as possible. Well, gee, it's still April. We got bills to pay. You're going to start hearing in a couple, 2-3 months, MA carriers talking about 2022. Good for them. We got to be aware. But I got bills to pay before the end of the year, just as you do. We want to make certain that we can maximize that opportunity. So all that said and done, I'm going to check questions really quick one more time just to make certain we've covered a piece of it, every piece of it, and it appears we do. Watch for the follow-up we send that'll come to you in email, because there are both links and attachments. It may go in your spam filter. Watch it. Mark us as, hey, I accept this if you're encountering that situation. But we will be following up with you as well. Plus, you can reach out to us through our toll-free number at 1-800-365-8208. If you're working with a marketer now, we're going to give you the details about Mutual of Omaha. If you're not, we're going to make certain that you have a good person to speak to that does. And of course, you can also get additional information off of our website as well. So all that said and done, I want to thank you for the investment of your time today, your most valuable resource. For those of you that have done business with us in the past, thank you. We appreciate that business. And until we have the opportunity to speak with you again, hey, we wish you good selling. Once again, thank you, Kristi, for your presentation. Thank you for all who have been part of today's webinar. Looking forward to visiting with you in the near future. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone.